Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist.
This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening.
It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Right. So do you have any parts that you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
Yeah.
Or anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. I've been kind of struggling recently with kind of I guess it's kind of a freeze response maybe. Mm-hmm. It's kind of it feels like it's maybe sitting on top of my chest or something. It's just I'll get stressed out about something with work usually, and then this part will just kind of come up, and it usually starts off with kind of distracting. So I'll get up and walk around and do nothing and come back. And then after kind of a period of time, I'll find myself just sitting on the couch on my phone, kind of not really doing anything productive. Mm-hmm. And then I just find it really, really hard to get back up and get back to work and kind of be productive. And then that obviously leads into a cycle where I'm not being productive. And then I feel like I'm kind of being dishonest with myself and the people that are kind of relying on me. And then it leads into a spiral of not really feeling great about myself. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one that I've been wanting to work with for a while.
Okay. All right. So I hear kind of a dynamic of parts of the part that has the freeze, maybe another part that has the kind of taking you out of the situation.
Yeah.
Those could be the same, I don't know. And then maybe another part that, that's wants you to be productive and is kind of pushing back on these other parts that are taking you out of it. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we can try to focus on that freeze part first if you want.
Sure, yeah.
All right. So yeah, just maybe put yourself back in one of those times when that happens and try to focus on the sensations that come up and see if you can identify where in or around your body it feels like it comes from and what it's like.
I definitely feel it most definitely sternum chest area where it's just kind of constricted. And then it kind of radiates like shoulders and throat and kind of different areas. But yeah, I would say the chest is kind of the main one.
Okay. And right now, as you're noticing it there, how do you feel towards it?
I would say definitely like scared.
Okay. You were saying that there's some fear that comes up around it.
Yeah, like I would say the biggest things are like it's kind of like fear and just like I just feel powerless. Like I'm just like, oh, like I just want to give up. Like it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Just want to lie down.
Yeah. And so does that feel like it is that same part? It is the freezing is the fear and the lying down, or does it feel like that's in reaction to it or something else?
That's a good question.
Yeah, just sit with it. Just feel it out. See if those are the same sensation.
Sure. I'm kind of feeling like they're not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're not quite the same.
Yeah. I'm wondering if one comes before the other, if there's a fear and then there's kind of a freezing as a reaction to it. Are you able to detect the sequence if there's any?
Yeah, like I would say it's usually like an external stimulus, something that's stressful, and then freeze, and then kind of the fear and kind of like flattened response.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, so our goal is to try to get to know one of these parts, and we can kind of focus on either the freezing or the flattening and the fear. Um, so if we are going to focus on the freezing, then see if you can ask the flattening part if it will step back and kind of allow you to just focus and work with the freeze part and just see how it reacts to that.
Yeah, I think it's cool if it wants to just go lie down. His favorite
Yeah.
thing to
Okay. Sure.
doesn't want to deal with the freeze part.
Great. Okay. And so just right now, how are you feeling towards the freeze part?
Definitely a lot more curious. Like there's no more fear, obviously, because that's kind of in the other room. So it's yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I've never kind of felt this way towards it.
That's great. It's the best place to start.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
and you can kind of thank that fear part for stepping back and let it know that if it needs to come back in, it can. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Great.
it kind of knows. It's
Great.
seen this a couple of times, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Cool. So let the freeze part know that you're curious about it. Just do whatever you can to deepen your access to that part. Invite it to a conversation. And then ask it what it wants you to know.
I'm kind of having a bit of trouble accessing it. It's kind of just like a wall I'm talking to.
Yeah. Um, And now, is that wall, because you mentioned like this flattening, is that the same part? Because sometimes, I don't know, sounds like it could be similar, like it's blocking or it's shutting out. So,
no, I think it's the freeze part. Like I feel like the fear flattening kind of have stepped aside, but I feel like it's just kind of like it's got its back turned to me and I can't really get its attention.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just,
With
there's lots of ways to do that. So you can just kind of announce it. You can, if you're able to see it, you can walk around to the other side. You can reach a hand out, put it on its shoulder. Um, you can let it know that this is how you're able to work with it and help it and get to know it, is just through this, if it'll communicate with you. So whatever works for you in those regards.
Okay. Okay, I think it's kind of noticed me.
Great. Just let it know you're curious and you'd like to know what's going on with it. You'd like it to let you know how it's doing, anything it wants you to know about it.
I'm kind of getting it's like tired. Um, but it definitely feels like it is doing what it has to do and it just has to like suck it up and do it.
Yeah. Great. Just let it know that you see that about it. You see that it's tired. You see that it's in a position doing a job that doesn't have much choice around or doesn't feel like it does. Is there any more that it wants to show you or tell you about itself or about this job that it does?
Kind of like showing me how it works really hard and it kind of wants me to be like impressed by it or yeah, just like acknowledge it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, go ahead and acknowledge it. I mean, does it make sense to you that it is working hard? Do you see that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead and just show it that you see that.
Okay.
You could ask what it's afraid would happen if it didn't work so hard.
It just thinks the whole system would collapse, I think.
Yeah.
Just like a sagging kind of like, yeah, like an old building that's just like really sad and just like crumbling and sagging.
Mm-hmm. Does it make sense to you what, kind of where that's coming from or what it means by that?
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Okay. Just let it know that makes sense to you and see if you can show it some appreciation for its intention to keep you from that.
Yeah.
Able to receive that.
Yeah, I think so. There's a bit of interference coming from it where it's like it's still trying to show me like what it does, where it's like it's kind of giving me like an image of like a big sphere, like a big ball that's just like holding up kind of like a domed roof.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of trying to be like, yeah, I get it.
Oh, maybe it has more to show you, and you could ask it if it feels like you get it, and if not, are you okay with just staying in that curious place?
Yeah.
You could ask how long it's been doing that job, or where it got that job. Maybe like, when did it start? How did it start?
Feels like forever. Like um it's kind of like it's almost like a snow globe now, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of saying like I can't understand it until I understand what it's kind of protecting. And then there's like it's like a snow globe, but there's like it's been shaken up. So there's just like I can't see what's inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny. It's an interesting visual.
It's interesting, and it's I think it's spot on as far as it's protecting something, and that's been its job is to protect you and your system from that. And so it makes perfect sense that that thing would be hard to see, or that would be obscured, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense.
It sounds like you're getting a lot of kind of visual imagery.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want to stay with that a little longer and just kind of keep learning about what it is it's protecting.
Yeah. Like I think we both kind of want to move forward, but we're kind of unsure how. Like it didn't really give me anything with the like how long
Mm-hmm.
doing it. It was just like, oh, forever.
Yes, yes. Well,
I understand.
yeah, that makes sense too. I mean, it's been doing that as long as it can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could try asking it what it would rather be doing if it didn't have to do this job. If you were able to go in and heal or change whatever it is it's protecting, what would it rather be doing with its energy?
It's almost showing like it wants to be kind of free, like it wants to be able to move around and, you know, do different things with its energy all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And how old does it think that you are?
It's not giving me a specific age, but it definitely thinks I'm like a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and update it with your real age.
It seems kind of aware of my age. Like it's like, yeah, I know, but it's still like I still need to be here.
Right. Yep. It's aware of your current age, and it's also aware of that younger part that is protecting. It sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, definitely. I think it doesn't really trust me to kind of take care of things, I guess, maybe.
Right. Yeah. And what does it need in order to trust you more? What would it like for you to do or to do with it, to do with other parts?
Well, now it's kind of saying that I'm 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask it the other question. Sorry, can you ask it again?
Sure. So it was saying that it doesn't quite trust you to go do that work and to take its burden away or to heal that 6-year-old part or whatever.
Yeah.
So the question is, what would it need from you in order to trust you?
It's saying like it needs me to prove that I can kind of be the man of the house.
Right, the leader.
Yeah, it's something my dad always used to say when he was going away. And I always was like, oh shit, that's a big responsibility. I never
Yes.
felt like I was able to kind of live up to it.
Right. And that is the goal, I think, in IFS is self-leadership. And so this is yourself talking to this part, and it's saying, I mean, if I'm interpreting it right, it's saying it wants for you to be that leader, then you would be able to help it out. It wouldn't have to do that job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of indicated like another part that comes up as part of the cycle where it's um like the go and sit down part, and then like that part really enjoys kind of getting away with doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's another part. Like I feel like I'm fighting on 2 different fronts almost, where it's like I already have the freeze response, but then I'm fighting this part that's like enjoying the fact that it's like not doing anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you want, we could shift and get to know that part too. I mean, if you're up for it.
I think that makes sense because
Okay.
I don't think we can go any further with the freeze part until that part is kind of understood and can go through the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank the freeze part for all that info it gave you, for all that insight.
Yeah.
See if you can turn your attention to that other part, the one that feels like it wants to get away with things, or
Yeah, it's a little squirmy. Doesn't want the attention.
Right. Yeah. Just let them know that, we don't have to go anywhere that it doesn't want to go. You don't have to share anything with me. And it gets to decide, and you get to decide the safety, the pace of what it shares with you.
Yeah, that helps. Thanks. Yeah, it's feeling a bit more open now.
Yeah. Just ask it what it wants you to know.
Saying it doesn't like being told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there's anything else. It's kind of saying that's kind of a way it can like take control of the situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Feel good about itself or.
Yeah. And does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Let it know that it makes sense to you. Just stay with it. Try to learn about its concerns. What is it afraid it will happen again if it's not able to take control?
So it's actually kind of trying to help out the freeze response,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like it's trying to do the same thing. I don't know if it's like its own concerns or if it's getting that from the freeze response about like the collapse and whatever, but yeah, it's like it's just trying to help.
Okay. Yeah, you might just ask it if that's, if that's all, or if it is, just saying what the freeze response wants it to say. Just kind of stay with that question about its concern.
I feel like it has a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just easier to kind of avoid it all instead of kind of addressing it or
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And what would happen if it didn't have that kind of way out?
It's not really sure, but it feels like it's like a lot. Like I feel like it'd be kind of just like a landslide. Just like too much, be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just kind of get buried under everything.
Yep. Yeah, so try to show it some appreciation for that. It wants to keep that from happening to you.
Yeah, it's having a little trouble kind of receiving the message because it knows it's kind of like um, disliked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's disliked by these parts that want to stay productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just like the freeze part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I feel like the freeze part is kind of like, oh, it gives me like a bad reputation or whatever. And this part's
Right.
like, oh, I'm just trying to help. And that's kind of the polarization.
Right. Yeah. So just let it know that you see that. You see that it's dynamic with the other parts and that you you see that, it's been kind of beaten up or pushed around by other parts, but that you understand its concern around overwhelm and protecting you from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's feeling that, and then it's kind of showing me like it has other things too that it does. So like one of the places where I always feel good is like when I go out and I get to kind of be around other people and socialize. And I feel like I'm pretty charismatic or, talkative kind of thing. So it's that same part where it's just kind of like going out and doing those kind of things. Like that's what it loves to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't always do that. So it's like, oh, I'll just like sit on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
And what about it? How does it think that you are?
I'm getting like 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Update it with your real age.
It's saying like, yeah, I figured you must be older now. I just never really like checked. Just 'cause of
Yeah.
some of the stuff we do, right? Like going out and drinking and whatever. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of how they all respond. They all got a job when we were young, and they just keep doing it until they can meet you, and you're able to kind of help them out.
Yeah.
And what would this part like from you going forward?
Well, it's more fun. Like it wants to actually enjoy itself instead of just kind of being stressed out all the time.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to stay with this question and get real specific. It's helpful for me personally when I like get some next action steps, from parts. So I'll leave it up to you how much you want to kind of stay with that question of what's next for you in this part.
Okay. Yeah, like it's kind of saying like, I take my dog out for bike rides and in the forest and stuff like that. And those times you kind of get smacked in the face by nature and whatever. And it's like, but it's kind of few and far between in terms of how often I'm actually enjoying myself and my surroundings versus how often I'm just like stuck in my own head and stressed about something. So yeah, it's kind of giving me that.
And that could be something that, if there are other parts that are coming up that are interfering with your enjoyment of a bike ride or of anything, that can be part of the project is Okay. Well, I'll get to meet those parts too, and I'll see how I can help them out so that they're not doing that as much.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of answered its questions.
Cool.
It's like, okay, we can move on that, or we can work on that going forward. And what's next?
Yeah. Great. Well, that's two protective parts I think that you've got to learn about and understand and try to figure out what's next with them.
Yeah.
A lot of times the prescription is just kind of keep checking in with them, like tomorrow and the day after, just kind of, again, reminding them who you are and that you're here to help them out, who you are, what your real age is, and that you do appreciate their intentions.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Do you have any other parts that have any other questions, concerns?
I think those two are kind of the main ones. They both feel kind of like more open and just like they're ready to open up a little bit.
Yeah.
Show me a little bit more.
Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, and ideally over time, they'll show you more and more about, usually this exile energy that's often behind what drives them so much.
Yeah.
And you can make contact with that part, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Do you have any other questions for me or anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's it's a good start.
Absolutely. I think so.
For sure.
All right. Well, keep me posted and feel free to book some more time with me. I'd love to keep working with you.
Fantastic. Thanks. Appreciate your time. Thanks for the help.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks to your parts.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.